And then it's going to delay me. Great. And we are live, everyone! Welcome back to Crazy Cosplay Duo! We were not on last week, mainly because I was at Steampunk World Fair. And Witchcraft was sitting go, and it was very sad. And we missed you, Jackal! And we totally missed you, Jackal! And we totally missed you, Jeff! We wanted to meet you, but we totally missed you. We feel so bad. And, do you have anything to say, Papa Bruce? My lovely co-host, Papa Bruce.
I'm here.
You're here. We're still here. I'm so happy because I'm so afraid I was have to run it alone. You're here.
Yep.
And we are on tonight with Fandoms Against Bullying. Creator, right?
Yep.
Should have asked this before, and I got so distracted. We got distracted by we were talking about horror stories.
Yes, I'm the creator of Fandoms Against Bullying.
We have Luna on with us!
Hello!
Which is awesome! Yay! So, welcome, Luna.
You want to tell us?
What was that?
You want to tell us why you decided to create Fandoms Against Bullying? Because that's what we're all wondering.
Okay, I started, Fandoms actually eventually started after I started the events. But the whole thing behind all of this was because of 3 stories that I saw on the internet, either involving bullying or physical harassment or sexual harassment, and the schools either doing nothing or punishing the students. The first story was about the boy named Grayson, which I'm sure there's some people who know the story I'm talking about, where this young boy who loves My Little Pony, he went to school with his Rainbow Dash backpack, and I think he even had a lunchbox, and he was bullied for it, and the mother went to the school and tried to have something done about this, and instead the school faculty was like, well, he shouldn't have brought the backpack and lunchbox because it could trigger for bullying. And that was really just very upsetting because it's basically the same thing that women get told anytime they're raped. It's like, well, you shouldn't have worn that. You know, victim blaming. And that's just completely wrong. The second story was an article, a blog written by a cosplayer who, it was like at the end of the school year, she was testing out a Grell cosplay to see if it would last, because her mindset, if it couldn't last at school, it most certainly wouldn't last at a convention. And so she was testing it out, she got dressed up, had full permission to do so, was walking around school. Towards the end of the day, this one girl comes up, and she starts messing with the wig. And the cosplayer turns and asks the girl to not touch her wig because it was delicate and she didn't want it, had been styled, she didn't want it to get messed up. This girl all of a sudden reaches up, rips the wig off of her, grabs her, throws her on the ground, and proceeds to beat her. And I mean like full-on beating. I have no idea.
God.
Yeah, I have no idea if the school did anything. I don't know if there were any repercussions for this action or not. I just know that that happened. And I'm just, was very in shock by this. And then the third story was about 2 girls in one of the Virginia schools here in the state that I reside. And these 2 girls had been sexually harassed by 2 boys from their school. And they were trying to do something, but then got confronted by faculty because these 2 boys were each related to members on the school board. Well, one girl tried to continue to press charges and got pushed back to the 7th grade because of it. And so it was after reading that final story that I just, like I'm a single parent. I'm a mother of a soon-to-be 5-year-old. He's soon to be school age, and I didn't want him to have to go to school in that kind of environment. And so I was thinking, what would be the best way to grab people's attention? Like, what would be something that if I went out to protest, people would actually stop me and ask, why? What am I doing? Why am I out there? And that's when I realized, cosplay. It's one of those things that cosplayers also deal with because of the bullying that goes on in the community and stuff like that. That if anything, if we were, by combining the two, I felt that if we worked hard to deal with it in the schools at a young age, eventually it would start, becoming less as they get older, and therefore not bleeding over into the many different communities, including the cosplay community. And so on my Princess Luna page, which is where I started all of this, I created Cosplay Against Bullying, the first event. And after the September event, and finding out there was an actual group called Cosplay Against Bullying, I didn't want to steal their name. So I took some time and I thought about, like, you know what? Fandoms. Fandoms Against Bullying. That's what I'm going to do. That's what this movement, this group is going to be called. And that's when I created the page, and it's taken off since then.
I want to say, I don't know if you want to say anything, Papa Bruce, before I start talking.
Go ahead.
I want to say that I say this constantly because I've been in the cosplay community for 7 years now. I have seen bullying just take a drastic upward spiral, and it's very, very upsetting. It's just been more common to go to conventions and know there is a possibility that you will get some, especially bigger ones. Know there is a high possibility that you will get some possible harassment. Know that if you have somebody who's out bent for revenge, I'm trying the best way to word this, sorry. There is still a high chance you will be bullied or harassed, even if the person just walks up to you and literally starts just screaming at you, or will scream at you from a distance. Someone will do this, and I've noticed it just increasing and increasing so much more. And it's terrible. I'm like, why are these people just coming out and just making conventions a crappy place for all of us?
I would have to say,
really.
because my comment on that is because of the whole elitism, mentality that came from when they were young, being allowed to feel that they were above other kids, or that anyone who was different was below them. And so that whole mindset and that whole just view on life and everything like that carried over. And when they found this, they were like, ooh, there's some really famous cosplayers who are doing, extremely high quality cosplays. Well, I guess that's how you do it right, and anything less than that, anything different is just wrong. It's not right. They're losers. I think that's the whole mentality on that, and that's why it's bled over so badly into the cosplay community.
I mean, I have to agree with you. You could jump in anytime you want to, Papa Bruce. I just want to jump into this whole thing. There are less than 100 cosplay elitists around the world. These people, just to explain this for the audience, these people, pretty much, their fan base pays for all their costumes. A lot of people out there, a lot of cosplayers are going to tell you this, I tell this every single time I can. I bet you, not to be rude, but just to tell you the frickin' truth about this, because I'm just going to say it, because it's pissing me off more than ever. There is a high chance you will not become a cosplay elitist, not to be rude in any way. But that doesn't mean that you can treat other people terribly, because if people have different skill levels than you, that doesn't mean you can treat them bad. Just gonna say that straightforward. I don't care if you think you're gonna become a cosplay elitist, because there's a chance you won't be, and if you're gonna act like that, people are gonna get a reputation of knowing that you act like that. It's the cosplay elitist vibe, the fact that people nowadays are able to have their costumes paid for, have their lifestyles paid for. It gets a lot of younger cosplayers into the jitters that they can get their costumes paid for. They can get this paid for. They can. But also, it comes with a lot of backstabbing, I want to say. That just really annoys me. That really just annoys me. Sorry, I don't mean to rant. I'm going to try not to rant today.
Yes. Luna, can you tell us about some of the events that are being held around the world?
Well, there's it's basically, as you mentioned, that, it's worldwide now, which completely shocked me. I was not expecting it to grow that big. But yeah, we have events going on here in Richmond. We have an event going on in Burlington, North Carolina. We have one going on in Oslo, Norway. And there's one other in Norway that's going on. I can't remember the exact location that I know of that it's happening, this event. I haven't been updated onto any other event pages that have been created for walks or any marches or anything.
And now, what can people expect at these events?
Obviously, people in cosplay or paraphernalia of their favorite shows or movies or books. Definitely, they can expect a sense of community and support, because everyone who's participating has dealt with bullying in some form or fashion and understands what it's like to be torn down, but instead of trying to tear other people down, they're trying to help build each other up.
Which is very awesome that people will hopefully be able to...
Hopefully people...
see that hopefully we'll be able to see that with people building each other up, this is as examples of what we should be doing versus what not to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually how cosplay in general came about originally. It's costume play. It was the geeks. It was the geekiest of geeks who loved Star Trek and stuff like that started the whole cosplay thing. And they started with like little cardboard boxes that they painted themselves, and maybe took a t-shirt and cut it up a little bit and painted or did some other stuff. It wasn't super high quality. But they did it because they loved the show, they loved the characters, and they wanted to find like-minded people.
I'm gonna try to think of something to say. I'm trying to think of trying not to let my temper take over, because I have dealt with a lot of stuff recently. So I'm trying not to say anything that will piss off people in the society, just because I've dealt with a lot of stuff recently and there's something personal been going on in my life. Trying to think of the best way to word it. I mean, we all start off at I think we all start off at the beginning. And I think that maybe I like your idea. I like your idea, that it wasn't really high quality. I think really the quality of the person matters more than the quality of the costume. Is that what you're getting at? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it was. Because elitism, cosplay was not even close to being mainstream then. There was no such thing as an elitist cosplayer. It was a sort of small subculture of its own that was extremely looked down upon in society, and not too many people got involved in, because at the time, like I said, it was the Trekkies, it was, the people who were very, they didn't care about status, they didn't care about the whole, how good you could get. All they wanted to see was the love for the authors, the love for the show, and that was it.
Exactly. Like, I'm trying to think. My brain is just dying on me. Hello. Is there anything that you hope to do with Fandoms Against Bullying? Is there anything like you want to do with it? Hopefully, do you have like any goals for it, or is it just kind of like more like you just want to tell more people, like, hopefully, like, or is it kind of like you just hope that more people can, like, my mind's slipping out, like, hopefully more people get, like, understand that it's not about, like, it's not about it's not about all this elitism.
Well, the main goal for the whole thing was to get schools to wake up. That was my main focus. That was the main reason why I started this to begin with, was how schools were handling these bullying issues and these harassment issues and the assaults that go on now, and the fact that schools aren't really doing much of anything. And I understand in some aspects they can only do so much, but because of the fact that there's a lot of faculty who do not listen to students at all, or they themselves mistreat students, they feel like they're left alone and they can't reach out to anybody to get any kind of help to take care of these issues. And that's why there's been such a high rise not only in cyberbullying, but suicidal attempts. It's gotten so bad, and a lot of these young people are feeling like they have no way to get help. And my main goal for this is to make a difference in these schools, to let these young people know that they're not alone, they're not on their own, and that they can get help. There are people to reach out to who will listen to them.
Right.
What would you tell someone that you knew was getting bullied, or someone who came to you saying that they were being bullied?
Well, for one, I would tell them to stay strong, because it would be a long process to get it taken care of, but giving up is most certainly not going to better things. I would tell them to reach out to any adults, any authority that they could get to tell them this is going on. Even if your parents, your own parents won't listen, there is somebody who has to listen. And I know that a number of schools that's very difficult because, like I said, there's a number of faculty people who don't listen, stuff like that. But there's somebody who can help. And either you can, I mean, if someone feels so bad, like they've been bullied for so long, and they're just feel like they're out of options, probably going and finding some, like an official authoritative figure to talk to might help, because if anything, they would know how to handle the situation better than most other people. Because especially if the bullying is getting on the pretenses of being verbally abusive to the point of being life-threatening. Like cyberbullying in itself in many states is in fact illegal. And my viewpoint is that if enough people went to the police, didn't just delete the messages, took screenshots, saved them to show this was going on, and went to the police or went to these authority figures, that it probably would help them reduce the cyberbullying that was going on, because half the time most teens think they can deal with it on their own, and they don't try to get any help whatsoever. They don't try to actually do what they should be doing. And I will say that trying to handle it alone is probably the biggest mistake a person can make.
Can I ask you this? What would you do? What would you tell someone, advice for someone who is really feeling like there's nothing, like they're being bullied, and they feel though at this point that there's nothing more to do, and they just want to, like, give in and throw in the towel?
Like I said, that is very difficult because of the fact that I've been in that kind of despair before where I've just wanted to give up. Not so much from bullying, but life in general. And I can just say that just not giving up, keep looking, keep reaching out, keep finding groups, finding people, to help. Like I said, that's one of my other goals for fandoms is being that place that people can reach out and find some form of support so they don't feel like it's hopeless.
So, you do run the group as well, if I'm correct. You do run the group Fandoms Against Bullying to go with it, right?
Yes.
Does the group differ anything from the page, or is there anything like, for people, say, for example, who are encountering cosplay bullying and they do feel alone, is there anything they can do that, is there anything like, maybe they can talk on your page, or maybe they can talk on your group that would help them out? You feel like?
Yeah. The group, basically, I have it open. It's not hidden. It's not private or anything. People are more than willing, welcome to join. And it's people of all ages are there, including adults to young, to teens. I want to give a place where they can talk and get advice from people who might be more experienced in an issue that they're dealing with. That way they can have a better understanding and know how to proceed in dealing with that issue.
I am going to actually be posting in the description box down below on this video of both of the page so you can like it for Fandoms Against Bullying and also the group in case you are on Facebook and you do want to join the group. Do you have any other social media, any other thing, or is it just mainly on Facebook right now?
It's mainly right now Facebook. I do know we have a Tumblr, but from what I've seen, it's not too active. Or at least I'm not too active on it. We also do have a Twitter that I run, which is Fandoms Against Bullying. I'm trying to help kind of like spread things out. There's also the email that I have, which I created for this as well. So basically, if people wanted to reach out and message, do a private message, something like that, they can. And yeah, it's like I'm actually looking for other people to help me in this. Because originally, when I started, Papa Frost being one of the people who is helping me, my goal was to start basically plant a seed. And eventually more and more people helping me to help that seed mature and grow into something great. Because the thing is, it's not about me. It's not about one person. It's about all of us together. And it's going to take the efforts of all of us together to make a difference. And so I just was, I hope that I can get, more people can join and help this grow and become stronger and have a bigger presence in society.
All right. How you doing, Papa Bruce? You doing okay?
I'm okay. Sorry.
Oh no. Oops, I was.
The reason why
We're
I'm a
all
little
out
more
of this. We
silent
all have
is, medical issues had me in the hospital yesterday, but I'm okay.
Good that you're okay.
We all, I feel like, are just lacking sleep today, so I think we should just, make the last 30 minutes of us just snoring.
I can do that. Actually, no, I don't think I can. I took a 4-hour nap when I got home from my mom's.
Oh, dang it! Yeah, we were gonna entertain the audience for 30 minutes by watching us sleep, but then again, I'd have to set an alarm. So that would be wonderful. I'd just set an alarm, and then knowing me, I would want to shut the alarm, and I put on snooze, so we'd all be snoozing for more than 30 minutes.
Is it almost time to switch to the less serious stuff?
Yes, this is going to be the less serious stuff. Do you have any serious things you want to say? Do you have any serious things you want to say? I mean, if it's okay, if you want to help out Luna, you could totally contact her. Is there any way they can contact you in case anyone does want to help you out with, like, Fandoms Against Bullying?
Yeah, they can reach out to the Facebook page that I have set up. They can also email me at fandomsagainstbullying@gmail.com. And
Let's post that.
That's actually how I stepped in to help her. I messaged her on Facebook because she was calling out for help, and I'm like, I can help. I will do my best.
Yeah, because before she stepped in, it was really just me at the time. I had one other admin, but I think life had sort of taken off in a direction that kept her really busy, so I was really doing this by myself for a while. And I was losing steam. I was burning out really badly. And it seemed as if things were dying out so much that I wasn't going to be able to carry this on for much longer on my own. And so that's when I gave out the call for help, and Papa Prust stepped in, and then my other admin, Harley Quinn HQ, she stepped in. Finally, like, she's got back involved and stuff like that, and it just, ever since then, things seem to start going upwards again. So hopefully we can get more people involved, start having, like, little groups throughout the country and throughout the world and stuff like that who can be there to support their local communities and be there for the people there. So.
And with that, I will have all the links below to the Facebook page, the group, and the email in case you want to contact her or whatever. And you should totally join the group or like the page or whatever, or do it. It's free to like the page, and if you really, it's really free to like the page. It's totally free. Like, it's not going to cost you $100 to like the page. You should totally do it. And now for the random questions. I believe you went first, Papa Prue, so I'm going to go first with my random questions, which... Oh, I picked out a good one. You can't see the back of this. This is one of my old business cards. Okay. So, who inspires you?
That's a hard question.
Oh, sorry. I know you had to pick out the awesomest but hardest question in the world.
Oh, I would have to say there's quite a few people who inspire me. One of which I would have to say is Leonardo DiCaprio, because of what he's doing to try to help back up the Native communities here in the U.S. Another person who inspires me is actually my mother. She has gone through quite a bit in life, especially to take care of me when she became a single parent and stuff like that. And so she had to take care of me and my brother. She also runs her own radio show to help the Native community, to get the truth about their history and about what's going on and the issues they face out there. And she's been doing this for about 9+ years now. So that's really big inspiration for me there. And really, I guess you say my biggest inspiration is from the sort of everyday people who try to at least lend a hand to make the world slightly better for that day. They give me the most motivation.
That's awesome.
I'm really glad I forgot that question. Your turn, Papa Prue.
What is the most memorable compliment you have ever received?
I would probably have to say... I mean, I've had a few memorable ones, all of which were memorable for different reasons because these were random people. But usually, a lot of times, I would mention some of the things that I am doing, like fandoms or some of the stuff that I have gone through, and they've always looked at me and complimented me on my strength and my resilience on being able to keep pushing forward. And the fact that they recognize that over someone who's just, instead of other people who might say, oh, you're just complaining, or it must have not really been that bad. People who like to put down others, like the people who do that to say, hey, I admire what it is you're doing, I admire what it is you're pushing through. That's awesome. And that will always stick with me.
That's really cool.
Okay,
because
convention question. I'm so sorry, I just interrupted you. I was not even thinking.
It's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, convention question. For conventions, I forgot it was not on this cue card. I forgot that I only wrote down the numbers, not thinking. Have you ever bought too much at a convention? And if so, what has happened?
Not really. I've only been on it. Time to admit a few things. I've only been to a convention maybe 3 times in my life so far because I haven't been able to travel, and the only one that's ever been here was the Anime Mid-Atlantic one, and that stopped coming to Richmond years ago. But I never really had a chance to be able to overspend or buy too much because I didn't have a job then.
I can relate to that one.
You are very, 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 very lucky. You are not me. You are not the terrible person I am. I was telling Papa Bruce earlier, I went to a convention, and I bought a Lolita dress. And those are very, very expensive normally. And I spent a lot of money on it. So never do what I do. Never overspend on stuff that you really like. But it was worth it.
I have to pause real quick. My son seems to be shouting for me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, we will entertain the audience.
All right.
So, Papa Bruce. No, I almost ejected you by accident because I'm trying to use this thing. So, what's up with your life?
Not much. I'm going to be basically doing commissions all summer, hopefully.
Yes.
And
we still. No, whenever you're ready. We still have our donation pool up. We still have our donation pool. You donate $5 or more, and Papa Bruce will do a badge for you, and it's a costly badge. Trust me. I need a new one done from you when you get better.
Okay. I should be better soon. It was a fairly minor surgery that I had yesterday. That's why I'm kind of quiet, is because I had surgery yesterday. It was just a biopsy. I will find out on June 15th what the results of that biopsy are, and if I'm going to be having another surgery this summer. If I'm not, it will be fine.
I'm back.
Welcome
You're
back.
back, and we just talked about random things. Welcome back. Okay, it's your question now.
Yes.
Unless you want to tell the Russia story. The Russia story why you have a flower pot.
No, the flower pot is not from Russia. That's from Liechtenstein. My daughter. The Russia story is, Russia is my soon-to-be fiancé, and he took my dice bowl, which is what I was using to draw from the last time I was drawing, and he is, because we're all gamers, and he never brought it upstairs for me, and I was too lazy to go downstairs to get it. So, that's the Russia story. So
That's
my question is, what 3 fictional characters would you bring with you if you were stuck on a desert island?
Oh. What 3 fictional characters? Admittedly, I would probably, and this would be all from one anime, I would probably bring CL, Sebastian, and Grell because it just would be hilarious to watch. They would be my entertainment. I wouldn't have to worry about anything else.
That would be funny. Well, Diana has done. You have done CL, right?
Not yet. The only reason why is I was gonna go to the convention and my lovely driver, thank you, my baka samado, they were originally gonna have the time off, and they were gonna originally pick me up and drive me to this convention, and then they asked both weekends off because we were gonna do something the weekend before, and then we're gonna do the weekend of that convention, so they wanted both the weekends off, and the boss didn't give them the first weekend off when they first really wanted to. We're going to Horror Fest and we're going to go to a convention. My baka samado asked both weekends off, and his boss didn't tell him that they gave him his second weekend off, but they gave him the first weekend off. No, they gave him the second weekend off, but they didn't give him the first weekend off, and he was like, well, I really want to go to the Horror Fest. And they're like, oh. So the stupid boss, my baka-sama didn't tell my baka till the last minute, oh, I gave you the weekend off for the convention, and of course I canceled the convention, and decided I wasn't going, and then literally the day of the convention, I have today off. I'm like, facepalm, you have today off. Yes, you could have cosplayed CL and Sebastian with me. I know, you owe me. I know. Why didn't you tell me you had today off? I gave away the ticket, him. And then he was like, I didn't know my boss was going to give me a week off till they literally called me up and said I didn't have to go to work today. I'm like, oh my god. So no, CL has not been cosplayed yet. I eventually hope to CL soon.
Okay. And then we have...
That's my really long short story. Okay. Mine is, because we were talking about this earlier, who is your favorite Doctor from Doctor Who?
Oh.
I'm killing her. Sorry.
There's... If I had to pick my absolute top favorite, it would have to be my first Doctor, which was David Tennant. I watched him first, and then eventually started with Eccleston, and then went all the way through. Absolutely love Peter Capaldi. He reminds me so much of William Hartnell. He really does, and I just think that's actually really appropriate since this is a whole new strand of regenerations. So, but yeah, David Tennant, he will forever be my Doctor because he was my first Doctor.
That's awesome. I'm a toss-up between David Tennant and Peter Capaldi right now, because Peter Capaldi, if it were not for certain person's writing, I would very much enjoy Capaldi much more.
Well, I mean, it helps that they're both Scottish too.
Yeah. All right. What do your friends think of cosplaying, and do they cosplay?
It would depend on which friends you ask. I actually have a friend, Max. He does cosplay. He cosplays a lot as Sebastian. I have another friend, Xander, who has cosplayed as both as Jack Frost. He's also done I can't remember. The main character from Fairy Tail, Natsu. He's
Natsu.
cosplayed Natsu as well. And I also have a few friends / acquaintances in Britain who have either cosplayed or dressed up in steampunk. But sadly, they're.
I'm all about the steampunk, and I actually cosplayed steampunk Prussia from Italia.
Nice.
Alright.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
One morning, if a random person comes in my room and that's my father, and he's got my goldfishers. Long story. Okay. Do you have a pet? And if you do have a pet, would you bring your pet with you to the convention hall? Like, would you bring your pet with you to the convention?
I do have a pet, but I would not. He's a jerk. That's all I gotta say. He's a jerk.
Is he a cat?
He's a jerk.
Yes, he's a cat.
That sounds like our cat, who annoys me every time I'm trying to do homework.
Well, I will say he's not so much the jerk of because he annoys me or anything like that. He's a jerk because he finds it fun to swipe at dogs, no matter their size. He will just sit there and do a random swipe at them as they're passing by. And he will also randomly attack us because he thinks it's fun. So, like, yeah, he's just a plain jerk.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Shape-shifting. It's just shape-shifting, because if I ever wanted to fly, all I gotta do is take the form of a bird, and I'm good.
I am picturing a mystique thing.
Well, not so much human shape-shifting, but just shape-shifting to different animals.
Ah.
Because, like, if I want to go running really fast, I can change into a wolf. If I feel like flying, I can fly. Wouldn't have to worry about hiding or anything like that, or trying to be invisible, because I look like an animal, so don't have to worry about that.
Don't worry about anything going on with your bed because you get to shapeshift into an animal. Anything, it's just this cat. It's just a demonic cat in this household. See, I don't have a cat, I have a little fluffy object. I have a dog. Okay, next question. If money and time was not an issue, like, you didn't have to, like, you could get any cosplay for free, and everything with it, and nothing was an issue, what would you cosplay? Like, what is your absolute, like, what would you cosplay as? Or who would you cosplay?
Sama.
Shishomaru. Oh god, Inuyasha.
Kagame!
Me and Kagome?
Yeah. I suck. I haven't seen it in years.
Kagame! Here's the bad news. Last Sunday, I actually almost did Kagome at a convention. That's the bad news, because then we would have this conversation this week. Oh my gosh, it's so cute! We would have this conversation, Papa Bruce, and I'd be like, I cosplayed like Kagome, and you'd be like, oh, Kagame, I know what you're talking about!
Yeah, I suck. Oh, I've got a really good question for a Whovian. If you had the TARDIS, where and when would you go and why?
Oh, so many places. Let's see. If I had the TARDIS and I could go Any place and any time. I would probably go to like around the 900s in Scandinavia and actually get a first point view of the Viking Age and see how they, how their culture really was and stuff like that, and get all the see if women, if half the a good majority of women were in fact being shield maidens, like a lot of the graves would suggest, or if it was just a burial thing.
That would be cool if they really were, because that would be awesome. I read somewhere that Viking men made women handle the finances because math was considered witchcraft.
That wouldn't surprise me. In the Scandinavian cultures and stuff like that, witchcraft was very much a feminine practice. So it wasn't really looked down on specifically. I mean, men were made fun of if they ended up practicing it, but if women practiced it, it wasn't really that big a deal. But yeah, so that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Although we're just talking about math and witchcraft, and I'm like, no wonder I'm listening to, no wonder I'm good at math.
I was going to make a rude stereotypic comment about that. You are Asian.
I know, I'm Asian.
I know, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have done that, especially with the Fandoms Against Bullying person.
Hey, at least, Papa Bruce, we didn't choose a time where we had an Asian, voice actor, or we had, an Asian manga artist, like the Hitalia artist, even though, no, that wouldn't work out, because he's American. No, wait, he is.
The original one is
Asian. Yeah, the original guy is Asian. He's awesome. I was like, you be offending, the god that made you, Papa Bruce? See what happens. Papa Bruce is like, no, I'm too awesome to offend him. He's gonna think I'm awesome anyway. Alright, so we are actually at the time in which we are going to give you the floor for the next 5 minutes or so. If you don't have anything to say, just let us know and I'll go into my advertising, blah 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 blahs. In which we're giving you the next few minutes, you can talk about anything you want to. I mean, if you want to talk about your Fandoms Against Bullying, any sort of advertising, promoting, whatever, etc., etc.
See, I have to be really careful with that, because if I pick a subject that is too intriguing for me, I could go for hours.
Yes. What is the date of the fandom or the cosplay against bullying again?
That would be the first weekend of June, which is the 3rd and 4th, and the Oslo event is happening on the 5th, because they couldn't group up beforehand. So it's anywhere, everywhere on the 3rd and 4th. So, and I'm hoping people will at least show up at the home base here in Richmond, because I've been by myself.
Hey, Papa Bruce, want to make a road trip to Richmond?
Maybe?
I don't know how far a drive it is from New York.
It's, I have done to Hampton in 8 hours.
Do you want to do an overnight road trip? Then that means I'm going to have to do an overnight road trip. I'm going to have to pick you up, then we're going to have to stop halfway there, then we're going to have to go again, because there's no way I'm driving for 8 hours straight.
You wouldn't have to do an overnight trip. You could just start early morning. Because I actually
Stop for a long
we
lunch.
Because I actually been to New York City on a school trip.
Oh no. I'm upstate New York.
I'm
Upstate New
central.
York.
Yeah, we're about, what, 4? You're about 2 hours from the city. I'm closer to 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I'm saying like for just to get to the city from where I am took about 4 to 6 hours. So if you add on to that, yeah, it would be about 8.
I had to pick up Papa Cruz, so that would probably be about 9 hours trip. So I can't make that in a day because that'd be asking me to drive 18 hours.
But it would be fun. Or I could come out there.
Well, if we came out here, then I guess it would be short. We'll have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Random road trips. We make random road trips out everywhere. Like, I need to get a cosplay tour bus and have a driver that will just drive me to random places because I can just pass out in my cosplay tour bus while he's driving the hours. Or she.
I sense the recruitment of Baka.
My Baka-sama.
Yeah.
Duh. I'd have to drive out and then get my Baka-sama duh, and then I would still be driving 4 hours. Like 2 or 3, 4 hours, because I had to go drive out and pick up my Baka-sama duh. And I'd have to bribe him. We'd have to bribe him really heavily.
Yes. So we give you the floor for a couple more minutes.
We got really distracted trying to figure out who would be our driver for a cosplay tour bus.
Oh, actually, because of the mention of Italia, there's actually a similar thing. It's a webcomic series that I had come across that I actually really like and eventually will probably be cosplaying one of the characters from that is Scandinavian The World. And it's written by a Danish woman, if I remember correctly. And she takes historical events and stuff like that and present events and might exaggerate it just a little bit just to make it more funny. But it's really great. It's a really great series and everything, and I follow it fully.
I've seen some of it. It's really funny.
Alright. On the topic, because I'm going to get super distracted, this reminds me of one of my favorite manga series. It was made before, keep on, this is historically accurate, it was made before, they haven't released a new series, they're going to release the next series. It was made before Obama took over presidency, so it was George Bush's presidency when they first published a manga, and pretty much all the different powers of the world go up against each other in these major mahjong battles. So for President George Bush, they had Papa Bush, and they had Little Bear Bush. And for Italy, they had the German Romanin priest Pope, and he had choir boys that were Italian that would praise in German, believe it or not. And they had this huge battle in the favorite part of it, in which the Pope jumps off this huge cathedral, lands on the ground, and says, "God Almighty!" Best scene in the entire manga. Best scene ever. And the little choir boys go, "Praise the Lord! Praise the Lord!" And it just completely I was about to die. I don't know what's funnier. When the Papa Bush thing came out, or when the German Romanin priest came out. That was pretty entertaining. We got so super distracted. I feel so sorry. I have to show this to you, Papa Priest. You will think it's pretty funny. You will think it's pretty funny when you meet all the different people of the world. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining watching these different high powers taking it, but they are going to do he's finally bringing back the series, and whoever wins the election for this year is going to appear halfway through. So I think it's going to be pretty hilarious for the U.S. election. I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. Okay, I got super distracted. I so apologize. I got super distracted. I just got so excited because I remember that my favorite series is coming out with a new book.
So we should Thank you for being here, Luna. We very much appreciate having you on the show.
Glad to be here.
We appreciate you coming on here.
Any announcements? We've got any announcements, Diana?
I have a lot of announcements. So, I didn't want to start with announcements. So, I really, really want to thank Jeff for giving us press passes for Steampunk World Fair. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Now this is done. I do not advise you go to Collecticon. I did not go myself, but I was heard it was a very terrible convention. I heard that it was very bad from several cosplayers. I heard very good reviews. I'm going to review myself, but I have been told to steer away from it until they work on it better because it was in a cold, dank barn, and according to people, it was an F-rated convention at a scale of A to F, an F meaning failure-rated convention. So, yeah. Steampunk World Fair, I would give it an A++++ because it was so huge and amazing, and I ran into awesome people. We do have an album up on our Facebook page of Steampunk World Fair pictures. I have to get a video uploaded of that. We do have Albany Comic Con coming up, Kineticon coming up, Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, Renaissance Fair, Ren Fair with Snow Queen cosplay. We also have a promotion going on to help us earn funds for Crazy Cosplay Duo. They are cosplay badges. Papa Bruce has reduced them down to $5 or more. The minimum is a $5 donation to Crazy Cosplay Duo. And I have all the information. If you want to click on Facebook, it's the first link there. You click on it, you click Get the Offer. It goes to your email. As soon as it gets to your email, you can redeem it, and then I will let Papa Bruce know as soon as possible because I will know that goes off. And Papa Bruce will do your cosplay badge for you.
Yep. For the first 20 people.
Only 20. I'm sorry, y'all. Only 20. There's a limit of 20 on it, by the way.
For the reduced price. If you would like, if you are not one of those 20 who managed to get one, feel free to email me at Broken Wall Cosplay, and they will be the regular price, which is $7 plus shipping. That's for full color. If you are outside of the United States, it's $10 including shipping. So, because it's a little pricier to go outside of the nation. So.
Also, asking about something else. Also, next week we do have more people. I need to check my calendar, which is somewhere buried in my lovely college supply stuff. But next week we do have a show. We don't have any conventions until June, so you guys don't have to wait till then. We are also on a search for photographers. If you want a free pass to convention or a discount pass to convention, if we get you for one, so we'll get you discount pass to convention, all you have to do is pass out our business cards and take at least 30 photos per each day of convention, and you get your pass partly paid for, if not a free pass. And we're looking for photographers. I'm looking for 2 extra slots currently. These 2 extra slots are going to have the t-shirts that Papa Bruce is working on eventually. They are, for the next 2 people who actually sign a contract with me, sign up for photographing, and they are able to do 3+ conventions, I will throw in a free t-shirt. There's an official Crazy Cosplay Duo t-shirt for free, which is absolutely awesome. But you do have to agree to 3 conventions that we are going to agree together. Otherwise, yeah. And we are working on the t-shirts as well. So it's going to be a great big project. We're going to have the t-shirts get going soon. The t-shirts are going to get going soon. And thank you! We are so close to 100 likes. If we can hit 100 likes, I'd be totally excited.
I can show the rough sketch.
Show the rough sketch!
This is what I have so far. Hold on.
Give me a sec. I'm trying to get it to view you. That's the rough sketch we're working on. It's a very cute rough sketch.
But any other announcements? Or
I think I can believe right now I've announced them. So anyway, tune in next time. We are 2 likes away from hitting 100 likes on our Facebook page. As soon as we hit 100, I do have a giveaway that is going on to help look for photographers. So if I'm able to get 2 more likes on the page, a giveaway will be up, and there is a prize of a gift card. I haven't decided how I'm doing it, but currently, any place you want, $10 gift card within reason. That's what's going to happen as soon as we have 100 likes. So I just need 2 more likes, and we'll hit it, and I'll start the giveaway for 1 month while I look for more photographers. And I believe that is all the announcements.
All right.
So goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you all next week.